Brothers. Welcome to the ministry. On today's episode, we are looking at the irresponsible nature of women in their 50s who decide to break their vows and divorce their husbands after decades worth of marriage. It's a growing trend that is incredibly absurd. Married women, who almost immediately after their children have grown up and moved out, decide that they need to divorce their husbands to live their lives on their own. It's an incredibly insulting gesture that is promoted as fun, empowering, and completely reasonable. Even though nothing could be further from the truth, these women are falling for it. It's sold as a life full of fun, adventure, and self-discovery. Even though it's an obvious rotten bill of goods, it doesn't seem to be stopping this trend, even though it ultimately will end in disaster. But, before we begin, if you haven't already, we kindly invite you to subscribe to the Ministry of Masculinity. With the world in its current state, we must ask a simple, innocent question. What's wrong with being a man? But this question is met with so much scorn that to ask this question is almost akin to hate speech. Men everywhere are waking up and realizing the answer to the question is simple. Nothing. There is nothing wrong with being men. Society needs masculine men, and yet, this simple truth is fervently denied by the powerful and the brainwashed. That is why it's so important to expose the machine for what it truly is. And the more men that realize this, the stronger we become. Let's work together to build each other up and to forge forward, my brothers. The future is depending on us, my brothers. Now on to today's video.
Okay, so life in your 50s after divorce is like a whole nother era. Like, I am not saying I am an advocate for divorce at all, because I'm just not. And I'm a true believer in marriage and everything that it entails. I promise you that. But things don't work sometimes. No hard feelings. You can walk away with love. But life in your 50s after a divorce and after you've raised children as an empty nester now, it's pretty freaking amazing. Like, I have to tell you, it just is not bad. Like, sure, I reminisce that I wish my kids were little again, and those memories, and they are my best friends. But it's almost like finding yourself again. It's like going back to the you that was before ever marriage, before children. That you that just was discovering you. It's like a rebirth. And there's something about when you're single again, not to say that, when you're married it takes away from anything, because it doesn't. But it truly is like, who am I? Not who am I with my kids, not who am I with the spouse, not who am I, but just back to who am I? And it's hard to describe or explain, because there's not one that's better than the other, worse than the other, any of that. But you single ladies that understand what I'm talking about, it's kind of just a thing that is like pretty invigorating, or should I say empowering, or liberating. I don't even have the word for it, but it's pretty incredible.
Divorce used to be a last resort for married couples. The vow for better or worse meant that, even through bad times, the husband and wife would have to power through and work together to resolve any issues and grow stronger. But those vows fall on empty ears nowadays. The idea of divorce, which was taboo at one time, has become something almost to be celebrated. Modern wives are told that getting a divorce after 50 is liberating, empowering, and the key to happiness. They say that since the kids are grown, the marriage has served its purpose. That now is her time for self-discovery, and she can't do that if she's legally tied down with a man. There is no consideration for her husband, who worked hard to make the marriage work and to ensure that the kids grew up safe and well-adjusted. She's more than willing to throw all of that work out of the way if it means that she can find happiness on her own.
Okay, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why divorce in your 50s is a good idea if you're thinking about it. Hi, I'm Brianna. I'm a stay-at-home mom for 29, well, I was married technically I'm still married, for 29 years, and I am in the process of a divorce. And these are the things that motivated me to get my divorce, okay? Because these are things that I thought about, right? So One of the things is the first one, first and foremost, is I got another 20 to 30 years. I need to live my life. I lived my life for those people. I was a cheer mom, fundraising mom, homeroom mom, all the things. I was available to everybody else except me. And I've got another 20 to 30 years to live. So, how about I find out more about me? The second thing is my kids are gone. God bless them. I parent by phone now. I love it. Oh my God, do I love it. And those people can take care of themselves. God bless them. But I got to learn how to take care of me. I'm really good at taking care of somebody else. But I haven't been the best about taking care of me. I'm healthy and that. But like, I didn't know what my really needs and wants and how to let go of a lot of the commitments that I kept myself numb with. I don't know if that's you. But the third thing is we still have dreams. I still have dreams. You have dreams that maybe you haven't realized yet. And for me, I couldn't do them with my, soon to be ex-husband. I have dreams. I need to fulfill my dreams. It's what my destiny is this lifetime. Like, I had a good run. I mean, 29 years, 33 years with somebody is a really long time. And I've done that. Now I can move on to really be the most selfish, self-centered person that, and by that I mean think about me, do activities that I think are fun, making sure that I'm getting my needs met because I just pushed them down for so long. So I'd love you to join me with what are you going to do? If you are thinking about divorce, how are you going to do it? How are you going to live your life the next 20 to 30 years, possibly? If you're in your 50s, I mean, I'm guessing we'll live till 80. So how are you going to do that? Don't skimp out on yourself. Don't minimize who you are. You're an amazing, beautiful human being that needs enrichment and life. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Let me know in the comments. I moved to another country. Like I said, parent by phone. Let me tell you, parenting by phone, mwah, chef's kiss. Anyway, I love my children, but parenting by phone is the best. Anyway, what are you going to do with your divorce? What are you going to do? I want to know. Leave it in the comments.
Unless it's under very specific reasons, a divorce at 50 is not only one of the most selfish things that a modern wife can do, it's also incredibly foolish. What does this woman think is waiting for her on the other side of the divorce? She thinks it leads to happiness, fun, and things that she couldn't have with her husband. But when you listen to these women who celebrate these divorces, you'll hear a lot of vague phrases and slogans, nothing specific. They use words like, things I want to do, or discover who I am. Generalized statements that show she has no idea what she plans on doing. But that won't stop her from pulling out all of the stops and throwing the life of stability she had built with her husband for a few years of meaningless hedonism, gilded spiritualism, and random bedroom fun. But one question she will never ask herself is, what about afterwards? The party can't last forever, and when it does, the end result is usually the same.
This is 1000% for all my ladies on here that are empty nesters, divorcees, over 50, just trying to live your life. Do you have those days where you just want to cry? Like you just want to cry all day long? Because I know me and my best friend, we're like that. Today's actually been one of those days where I've just been crying and she's been crying and we're not even in the same state. So I thought I could make life better by ordering some new type of coffee, which I did, which we'll talk about later. But back to the original issue, like I just feel lonely, right? Like I'm lonely. I don't feel like I'm connected to my family. I don't feel like I'm connected to friends. I feel like my daughter's off living her life and my son's off living their life. And I'm just kind of like not really sure what I'm doing. Like some days I like my job. Some days I don't like my job. Some days I like people. Some days I hate people. Some days I want to hit everybody I see. And some days I want to cry and hug everybody I see. I could literally go on and on and on about this all day. I just want to know how you feel. Do you feel the same way?
These newly divorced women are usually in for a rude awakening after a few years. Once the thrill ends and reality kicks in, the divorced woman will finally see the consequences of her actions. She will start to notice that her life is lonely. She has nobody with which to share her life. The future, that she looked with so much hope, will now be looked with dread. Her life has grown even emptier. Her children and ex-husband have moved on, Her friends all have their own lives, and she's no longer seen as attractive by men. She's growing more and more tired and weak with nobody to take care of her. The promise of a better life was broken, and all she's left with is emptiness and tears. And all of it could have been easily avoided if she accepted that though her life may not have been perfect, she could still share it with someone who stuck by her side for decades. But she threw that all away for virtually no reason, and therein lies her reward. And that's going to do it for today's video, my brothers. If you found yourself enjoying this content, then we hope we have earned your subscription to the Ministry of Masculinity. Be sure to like this video and share with as many of our fellow brothers as you can as well. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next episode of the Ministry of Masculinity.